Colorado. This is our 2017-18 John Mall High School Panther Brigade. Can we give them a round of applause? The last 2 years when I have been in Walsenburg, the band has grown almost 200%. When I got here, we started with 13 students who held instruments, and now I have 25 musicians behind me. So we have a couple of songs for you here, and then we're going to march back up to the ribbon cutting to play the second half of our setup there. Please follow us as we embark on this endeavor today. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to play, Strauss's Zarathustra. I think you'll enjoy it. Here we go. Drum roll, please! On Friday, and my Buffaloes, go Buffs, won 17-3 over the Colorado State Rams. This is Colorado's fight song, Glory Colorado. Up, glory. One, two, glory, two, ready.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the first ever event at the new Cuchara Mountain Park. In the years ahead, you can say you were here when, so thanks for coming. The band just told me I could talk as much as I wanted to, and that's kind of dangerous. But I'm going to turn this over to Commissioner Max Spezzani, who's been with us from the beginning in making this happen.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out today. I want to acknowledge my two fellow commissioners, Gerald Cisneros and Ray Garcia. They've been very supportive of this effort. So most of all, I want to thank all you folks for coming out today, and probably most importantly, to all the donors who made this possible. This was a dream or a vision not very long ago, but they've made it into reality now. And so this park is purchased courtesy of the citizens and people who live in Huerfano County, and I think that's just amazing. And what a wonderful effort. You'll hear more about that in a few minutes. The purchase of the facility, as I said, was made through a variety of interests, mostly just individual contributors. There were a few major park donations, but for the most part, folks like you who made this possible. And this is a momentous occasion. We have 3 other facilities throughout the county, one at Gardner, the Raymond Aguirre Center and Rodeo Arena. We have Fiesta Park in Walsenburg. We have the fairgrounds in Levita. And now we have Cuchara Mountain Park. So give yourselves a hand. Thank you.
Stand over next to him. It's a little taller. Thank you, Max. I'd like to add my thanks to the county commissioners as well. And in addition to that, would just hasten to add that I think it was their vision and some volunteers like Lois Adams. They got together and really started to make this happen. But I'd underscore from a commissioner standpoint, doing things like this are high profile, not without risk. We're certainly not a wealthy county. And so it took folks with some gumption to get out there and get her done. And we really do appreciate that. We believe it to be out of the ordinary. So again, a real strong thanks for our county commissioners.
Did they wave their hands over there, Gerald? And where's Ray? And Ray. Be sure to go up and give him a hug. I think they like hugs. I don't know.
Okay, in addition, I'd also like to recognize the board from the Cuchara Foundation. Would all the members that are here from the Cuchara Foundation please stand up, raise your hands, point out who and where you are?
The board. So I see Bernard Small, Karen Sandbeck is someplace, Karen, and Mike Moore back here. Janet Richards, where is she? Back over there, great. And Larry Brooks just came in, and Danette and Lois. That's the board.
How about, is Suzanne Pierce here?
No, she's...
Okay. She's going to try to get up here this afternoon, she told me, even though she's going off the board. Okay, again, just a little bit of history here. The Cuchara Foundation stepped up with board approval at the outset of this year once they knew this was taking shape. They threw $25,000 in that they'd accumulated over the last 3 or 4 years in their treasury towards making this happen. That was the first step. And then the Cuchara Foundation formed a fundraising committee, which I've had the pleasure of serving on, along with some colleagues. And this generous community stepped up and raised the additional $125,000 plus to be able to reimburse the county fully for the land purchase. And that's a big deal because over $100,000 of that was raised from residents and visitors, individuals. That's a big deal. You owe yourselves a big hand for that. We have had a couple of foundations tie into this process. We expect more now that the land truly is in public hands in perpetuity. That's going to be a great thing. So we think will enable even more foundations to jump into this process. Things like Betcher, Gates, GOCO, some of those kinds of organizations. So we'll look forward to more support from them. And again, really do appreciate the Cuchara Foundation staying with this. We'll start to aim our sights on infrastructure next.
We've had over 150 individuals and families donate, as Jim said. If you want to see who they are, there's a list on the side of the, we didn't have a name for our building yet, but the building is listed, everybody that had donated as of today, and we've received some more. Next steps will be to get that old rug torn out and maybe hopefully get some rug squares in there. We would love to be able to use it as a warming hut this winter when we have snow and people can come on the weekends. So stay tuned, that's our goal. And immediately we do need also to do a match to the Department of Local Affairs. They've given us $25,000 to hire somebody that's really a professional and come in here and work with us to get a plan that makes use of this beautiful setting to the best. So those are our next steps. If you were one who donated, would you raise your hand if you've given something, any level? Thank you so much. Every little penny helps, and look around and be sure you thank those folks that did it. Oh, I was also supposed to say the posters that are on the side of the building will be located inside until we can afford to buy a permanent list. So everybody that donates to this park will have their name there in perpetuity, or as long as the building's there, so you can bring your children, friends, family, and say, see, there's my name.
Well, if we could, can I have a show of hands of how many folks have been to the park in recent years before it was purchased? Raise your hands. Okay. We're hoping that many, many more people enjoy this great place. So that's, as Lois indicated, you know, we need to do a plan. We need to figure out what it's going to take to develop it, how we work with the Forest Service, how we work with potential concessionaires, and that'll all be coming in the next few months. Excuse me. You know, I particularly want to, and I do this being a little worried about leaving important people out, but you know, Bill Coppola and Janet have done a miracle. So let's give them a round of applause for sure. They truly deserve it. I've been up here, I don't know, 12, 15 times, and every time I come up here, Bill is sweating away in the sun, pounding nails, cleaning up debris, and they've really kind of transformed the place into something we can begin to be proud of. And there's a lot more work to come, obviously, but we do owe a huge debt of gratitude to Bill and Janet. So thank you both. I think the next thing we want to do is recognize those folks who put a little sweat equity into this thing so far. I know Bill and Janet were kind of the leaders, but anybody who was involved in cleanup, fix-up, repairs to date, raise your hand if you're in the audience. All right, thank you all so much. Thank you.
We also have a poster listing the names of everybody who was here helping, so look for it up on the deck.
Yeah, as Lois said, we'll kind of memorialize that stuff in the building. So today's food and fun would not be possible. I probably won't read the whole list, but you know, we have hot dogs from First Choice, barbecue from Sid's High Country Barbecue, George's Restaurant, Alice's Restaurant, Michelle Pal, Charlie's Market, Cisco, Mary Ann Nelson and Manuel Willis, Michelle Pal, Lois and Olin Adams provided watermelons for you. We have beverages from Janet Richards and Spanish Peaks Alpine Alliance. Olin and Lois Adams and Mike and Julie Fleener provided ice. We've got paper goods from High Altitude Coffee. chafing dishes from the Timbers, music from the John Mull High School Band, and I have to tell you, that's been a transformation, and I know we gave them a hand once, but they are truly, it's the beginning of something very good for our county, for sure. And so thanks to David Inke and friends. The Jump House, courtesy of Carl and Karen Sandbeck. We're going to have duck races, Lisa Dessenbrock. Nature walks, courtesy of Bob Kennemer. Thank you, Bob. Manuel Mullis did do Baker Creek lessons. If you're interested in kind of the science of what goes on in those riparian areas. Hula hoops and fun, courtesy of Tanya White. And prizes from Pieces of My Heart and Michelle Appel and Lois and Olin Adams. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Before we move over to cut the ribbon, let's also look forward a little bit, and just would suggest to you the same sort of grassroots effort that we've had thus far is going to be sorely needed going forward. We're not nearly complete with infrastructure right here at the bottom, and as you may have had explained to you previously, lift number 4 here is totally within the close to 50 acres that is now part of this park. It's not on Forest Service land, so we can do with that what we can afford and are capable of doing. All of that lies ahead in hopefully the next couple of years. So more on that to follow. But we really do need continuing community support and volunteers. We got lots of things to be done. There'll be an AmeriCorps team in here in the next couple of months doing some work. Bill Coppola kind of orchestrates that whole process. And please let us know today, see Bill, myself, any of us, that if you'd like to get your name on the list, then we'll need continuing donations. One last appeal on that. And then our immediate needs are listed on the bright yellow posters up there. We want to be open this winter. No reason we can't be saucering and tobogganing and enjoying ourselves. It's no longer private land posted with no trespassing. It's public land. It's your land. So we can have some fun up here this winter. We just might need a few volunteers to keep it safe. And then, as was mentioned earlier, we'll be developing a long-term plan for this park with professional input on that. RFP's already in. We've already got some money designated towards that, and we need more. So as we start moving over to the ribbon cutting, we'll want to do that over by the gate where you came in. We think that's the right place to do it. And we'll cut that ribbon to officially open this park. Representing the Cuchara Foundation in that process will be Lois Adams, Janet Richards, Mike Moore, Karen Sandbeck, and any of the other Cuchara Foundation board members that may have arrived. Representing and dedicating the process as a visionary will be Bill Coppola, who's on the Cuchara Mountain Park board and who's always believed in this from the outset. All 3 county commissioners, Max Fazzani, Ray Garcia, Gerald Cisneros, the former owners who made this possible, Joe Vaughn and Jerry Fitzgerald. So with that, let's start moving towards the gate of the ceremony, and then we'll come back and have some fun. Thanks, everybody.
So, I don't know if you picked up from the earlier talk. Oh, it's Gerald. Where's Gerald? Hey, Jerry. Jerry!
Jerry, you want to come down?
We need you to cut. If you got it from the earlier rumors, but it was nip and tuck till the last minute about whether we would have the full 150,000 today and what do you think? How many think yes? Yes. How many think still a ways to go? Well, we think. So as of today, the Cuchara Foundation is handing a check, our treasurer, to Ray Garcia. The chairman of the Board of Commissioners for the last payment of $50,000. We have now given them $150,000.
Here they come. Come on up here, Jerry.
Karen, come on up. This is pretty much the crew that was involved from the beginning and had the dream, so we're here to give it to them.
You know, I do want to thank Jerry and Javon.
Yes.
We sat right there in that building and twisted arms, and we finally said, okay, we'll take it. But no. They were very gracious and I think had the vision to see what might be possible here. And I think thinking about their grandson, they decided that this might be a good thing for the future of their family as well as the future of Orfano County. So a big thank you to Jerry and Javon.
Okay, so we're going to do the countdown, and at 1 we'll cut. So you ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1, cut.
Left-handed scissors.
And the schedule here, there's entertainment, we'll have drug racing, exploring the creek, and a hike around. Look at the schedule and get to what you want to see. And thanks again for coming. Oh, and the band's going to be playing.
He said he'd give 25,000 back to me. Oh, okay. There you go.